Welcome, and tonight we're going to be workshopping a piece of our essay. You can use any piece that you like, preferably the one that we are working on currently. Now, we'll workshop just this first paragraph, but you'll want to follow this all the way through until you get to the end of your essay. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just go ahead and open up our workshopping sheet, and you're going to see that here. So just open up the workshopping sheet, and it's in the Project 2 folder, or you'll see that in this week's folder as well. You'll notice that it is a Word doc. You can download it. I'm not asking you to complete the sheet, though. We're just going to use it as our guide as we work through the essay. So go ahead, take a few minutes, open up the handout. Now, as we work through the sheet, pause where needed so that you can finish and complete your paragraph, and then start when ready. We'll be turning in the workshopped piece, so you'll want to leave it all nasty so that I can take a look at what you did. See some of the corrections that are going on there. So this is the piece we're going to be working with tonight. This is a student piece. I believe this one is on Bigfoot. One of the first things I really like to do before I ever get started even looking at the workshopping sheet is just to read it aloud. That'll let me know if I have any missing words or if I'm pausing in the wrong places. And I want to read it exactly as it's written. Remember, if you have a comma, to pause. If you have a question mark, your voice goes up or down with inflection. Exclamation point gives us emotion. So you have to read it as the author wrote it. So take off your author hat now. Let's put on your reader hat for your piece. James Bobo Fay is a hard-headed person. He's based his whole career off searching for a creature that remains a conspiracy theory. He appeared on an episode of Conan TBS. On the show, he was asked the question, explain Bigfoot since you're a Sasquatchologist. How does he look? You have no footage of him. Bobo replied, a lot of people think the moon is made of cheese, but then you're going to talk to an astrophysicist who says it's not. Fay makes it clear that even though there are non-believers, his research proves Bigfoot is real, and he can't be convinced otherwise. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look at the workshopping sheet. Now, we've got several different sections here. The first one is more about the grammar, punctuation, those kinds of things. Then we talk about the content, then the formatting. Okay. Doesn't make any difference where you start. Start with the one that's easiest for you. I'm going to start with formatting. To me, that's the easiest. So I'm going to start on that one. Times New Roman double space. And sure enough, now mine's Times New Roman. I'm going to look right up here where my Times New Roman is. If you have to change it, go ahead and just switch that over by highlighting. Click on Times New Roman. 12 font. Double spacing. Right here. Now, if you're using one of the cloud services, it might be over here on the right-hand side with the 3 dots. Okay, but if you're using the Microsoft Word, it's right here. Okay, so there's that. Now, I'm not going to bother to check it off. I'm just going to work through. Works cited page, alphabetical order, double space, hanging indentions, and last page of the essay. All right, let's look at that. Works cited. Well, it looks like I do have some citations here. Here is my first citation. Here's my next citation. But I do not see any citations. Now, I know if I have direct quotes or I have material that I am paraphrasing or summarizing, putting into my own words. Doesn't matter if you've left a word out or not. If it's not your thought or idea, then you have to cite. Okay, now let's look down and see there's no works cited page. So I'm going to build that works cited page. I'm going to put it right below just so we can see it, everyone. It's typically the page after your essay. Okay, now that's going to be centered, such as that. Going to left align again. Okay. And let's see, oops, this is coming from the Conan TBS show. And I'm going to say that probably, if I'm guessing, maybe the title of the show uh, would be there. So maybe that is James Bobo Faye interview. Okay, we know it's coming from the Conan TBS. All right. The next thing that we would have would be the date, and maybe uh, be January. Okay, and then whatever that link might be. Something like that. Okay. And then, of course, if you had, let me see if I can build it. So what could we put? I would like to build it long enough that we would have the, uh, sometimes you might have the publisher, maybe the director or something in there. Okay, so I'll put uh, CBS News. How's that? I want to do the hanging indentions for everyone. So you're going to highlight, go right up here to your spacing, click on that special and hanging. And that's all there is to it. Okay. Now, if you're using an online cloud, it's probably right under the three dots, but it's going to look the same. Okay. There under the spacing and paragraphing. There it is. Okay. Now, you want to make sure it matches up with the in-text, what's inside your essay. So I'm going to come right up here to my first one. And it's right here. Now, I've got to take my period away here. Remember that your citation is part of the sentence. Paste that in. I'm going to take the period away. Now, this was a show, and there's only one, so I'm going to put that there. Now, that one, if it was a web page, it's a scrolling page one. Has nothing to do with the number of sources, but rather the web page number or the page number of a book, maybe page 257. In this case, if there's a video, it would be the number of videos. Sometimes you might have 3 videos, so it would be the number of the video. And if the next citation in the same paragraph and no other sites break that, again, going inside your punctuation, that one sends me back to your last full citation right here. Okay. Now, when I start a new paragraph, I have to start my citations all over. And we want that to match exactly right here with what's here. And make sure your quote marks and everything are there. If it was in italics, I would put it in italics. But it needs to match exactly. That way, see how easy that is for the reader to find. Okay, is there anything else we need to look at here? Proper heading on page 1. Okay. Uh, I don't always require the proper heading. It's coming through Canvas. I know whose it is. But I have had other professors say, please ask them to do that. Okay. So if you're going to put your header, it's typically a single space. I'm going to put that in. Put your professor's name there. It looks a little funny because I got both my names on there twice, but and then that's going to be single spaced. That. Then you're ready to put your title. Now I'm really bad at titles. I think I've mentioned that's something that I always get help with. In this case, I'm just going to be just straightforward and say Faye character analysis. Mm. And I'm just going to center that over here like that. Look like it has too many spaces. No, I guess not. Whoa, I'm going to hit my undo button up there. There we go. Everybody know how to do that? Right up here in the corner, on the left-hand side. If you lose something or put something in, just hit your undo. It'll go back. All right. So I think I've covered everything right here on the formatting. That section is done. All right, let's go ahead and let's look at the content. Now this says internal, external. Now for our purposes, we just need one or two traits. Okay, so if you've got one or two traits, you can just count that as done. I don't care if they're internal or external, but one or two traits are needed. Do you need a physical description that let readers visualize the character? You know, I could add that in here, and it might really be helpful to let the reader picture that. If I come up here, let's see, and I bounce out here there is a picture of him right here, of James Bobo Fay. All right. And I could come back over here and I might could add that a description. Now, I didn't know what he looked like, so I would probably need to do a citation for that. So, and this one is Getty Images, and we have Frederick M. Brown, so that's an easy one. When you have an author, it's easy. But again, if there's no author, it moves to title, and there's certainly a title right there. So I'm going to come back over here, and maybe I want to build that in. He's based his whole career, let's see, how about right here? The um, the large, how can we say? Let's see, the overweight, hate to say, overweight, short, um, Bigfoot, Bigfoot researcher. How's that? Can I call him that? And again, I would need a citation for that because I didn't know what he looked like. Now, you might have already known. If so, no citation needed. Okay. Frederick M. Brown. So I'm going to build that in there. It would just be Brown right here. Brown. There's only one page. Okay. And then I would go ahead and build that down here. Now, alphabetical order. So images over here. I don't think it has a date on it. No. So I'm just going to put the date that I pulled it, which would be April 13th, 2022. Now there is a link, so if I click there, I'm going to get that link. And that way, if your professor wanted to look at it, oh, and there it is. Okay, but it built it in right, it's right. We're going to leave it. That's the way it goes. Okay, and then it matches brown right here, brown right here. I want to make sure those match. Easy for the reader. Find it and locate it. Okay. So now we can go to the next item on our list here. It should be, I've added a little bit of a description. Analysis get into the character's actions and motivations. All right, so let's look. He's hard-headed. Actions, his whole career searching for the creature. He's overweight, he's short. Let's see, he did an interview where he explains things. Let's see. Yeah, hard. You can't be convinced otherwise that Bigfoot is not real. Okay. So, and we have the research there to back that up. That PEE format is there. Make your good, strong topic sentence. That's what you want to prove. Let your details prove that. Let your detail sentences prove that. Make sure you have at least one quote. This one has two, but only one is needed. One direct quote, at least. Because if it's not, if there's no quote, you're just informing me. You're just regurgitating and telling me. That's an informative essay. We want a research essay. And then your last sentence recaps. Maybe it's an aha that ties everything together. That aha, so that's what it means. Okay, so now we're ready for our next section. Now this is our grammar sentencing skills. The first one on the list is capitalization. So what you want to do up here is let's make sure our words are capitalized. And that James's, it's got too many S's on it, doesn't it? James, Bobo. So here's our capitals right here, and I'm just going to highlight that. You go right up there to your highlighter, just do a highlight color. We've got the first letter of every sentence that needs to be highlighted. Bigfoot needs to be highlighted. Conan is the name of a TV show, and I believe that that is in italics. I really do. TV shows, books. If you're not sure, scroll down to the PowerPoint grammar section in the modules. Take a look at that title, PowerPoint. Okay, so again, first word of the sentences, and you're going to do that all the way through the paragraph. Highlight your capital letters all the way through, okay? Pause if you need to, pause your video if you need to do that, to take time. Okay, I'm not going to work all the way through. I'll move us to the next one. Okay, commas. So now we want to take a look at commas. Now remember, if your sentence is starting with a, an, or the, a noun or a pronoun, there are no intro commas. If you're starting with on, at, in, a preposition or a ly word or ing word, probably going to have a comma somewhere at the front of the sentence. So for example, right here, when I look at this, comma usage on the show. Let me do a different color there. Okay. You see that here's your sentence, right? Anything you add to the front will have a comma. Remember that if you're putting together two sentences, I think the comma needs to go there. Let's try that one. Faye makes it clear that even though there are non-believers, his research proves Bigfoot is real, and he can't be convinced otherwise. Okay. Sometimes I just have to read aloud like you do. Here's what I was wondering. Do I need commas to offset some? Faye makes it clear that even though there are non-believers, his research proves Bigfoot is real, and he can't be convinced otherwise. I think I like it better without it. Faye makes it clear that even though there are non-believers, his research proves Bigfoot is real, and he can't be convinced otherwise. Yes, I like that. Okay. And there's no squiggly lines, so it's not telling me it's wrong. The system isn't. Now, I'm putting together two complete sentences, and when I do that, the comma takes the place of that period. Let's see if it's not a very good color, was it? There we go. So, how about that? Okay, so here's my first sentence, right? Here's my second sentence. I'm putting together two sentences. When I do that, and, or, but, so, yet, period becomes a comma. If you're not sure, put your finger over it. If you can split that into two complete sentences, you have a comma. If not, you're just joining two ideas or two items. John likes to run and play. You're just joining two things together. Okay, so check those. Check the intro commas. See if you need intro commas. All right. In-text citations and quotation marks, we just looked at those and built those. Remember, those are always at the end of the sentence before your punctuation. Goes with the sentence. Comma splices, we looked at comma splices. We want to make sure commas in the right places. Fragmented and run-on sentences. Let's talk about those for just a minute. Typically, A sentence will run no more than 2 lines typed. If it goes over a couple of words, it's okay. But don't give me 3-line sentences or 2.5-line sentences if you can avoid it at all. It's too much for the reader and it's overwhelming. The other thing is look at the good size of this paragraph. See how it's chunked there? It's nice, manageable size for the reader. Paragraphs are typically 5 to 10 sentences, so don't give me full-page paragraphs. Find a place to split it for your reader. We want to make sure our paragraph is indented. So I'm just going to go up here and hit my tab. Oops, that was the wrong spot. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to hit my tab right here. And that'll just hit tab one time. That will pull it over. If it doesn't work well for you, it's usually 5 to 7 spaces over. Enough that we can see there's a good indentation there. Okay. Be sure that you just keep typing at the end of the sentence. Let it wrap around. Don't hit enter at the end of the sentence. If you find that your spacing is off still, come up here and highlight. And if you click right here, it will say add or remove space, and you probably want to click remove on those, and that will pull it out. All right. Now, once you get your paragraph or 2 or 3 highlighted, you want to go ahead and save that. And then you'll come back over to your quiz, your assignment. Okay. And you'll just go ahead and upload that so that I can take a look at your highlighted work there. And that will put you through your workshopping. Now you want to do that for all your paragraphs. Other options, remember you have this little editing here that will help you as well. You also have editor, and this will help you a lot too. See, it's telling me I have spelling and grammar issues here. So you can use that to help you out. It will help you. It's telling me James's, but that's not right. We know James is a plural. One of the things over here that we do want to fix, I noticed that there are some contractions in this. For example, he's, and we want to use the formal language with that and can't. It's telling me to change that, see. If you have a lot of words that you want to change, you can do a replace. Let's say you want to replace the word Faye, and you're going to replace the word with Thomas. You just hit replace all, and it will change all of those all the way through your essay. Use your Grammarly Pro Writing Aid if you need to. Those are free. You can plug in a couple of paragraphs at a time into the free one. And that'll put us through the workshopping piece. Now, we do have next week that we'll be working on our essay as well. Please spend the rest of the class time to add to your essay and do what needs to be done on that. Remember also that in Module 8, Week 8, you do have those introducing signal phrases that help you with that. The MLA 8th edition handout with the examples is there. That introducing signal phrases will help you with those drop quotes. Remember to introduce your quotes. Don't make a quote a sentence by itself. And then we do have these 2 pieces to do before Tuesday night. Now, if you're really confused on these and still need help, hold on till Tuesday night and we'll go back over those. We did go through those this last Tuesday, so you can go ahead and take a look at those if you need to and look at the recorded lecture on that. And that puts us through this week.